Hello everyone and welcome to the YouTube channel of Being ACCA. This is Tushita Gupta, ACCA affiliate, and in this video we are going to be discussing all about the ACCA F9 FM Financial Management exam. Basically in this video again like we did for FRPM, this video is to talk about what are the some of the common beliefs about this paper. What are the strategies that you can adopt to attempt this paper well? What are some of the mistakes that people make in this paper that you can avoid? So let's get right into it. So first of all, if you have a look at the pass rates of the FM exam, so the pass rates are pretty good. The pass rates hover around, nearly touching 50%, which is a very good pass rate, as is the pass rate for the peers like tax, FR. So these three papers relatively have like a higher pass rate compared to their other peers, which are PM and AA. So the thing is that these high pass rates come with overconfidence on some people's part, because they think that the pass rates are high. So that's why they become overconfident that we will be able to manage this paper and it's nothing but a piece of cake. However, the rest 50% of the people also end up failing, right? So that means there is something that they are doing wrong. There are some mistakes that they are making. Something is not going right. That is why the other 50% people are losing out, right? They are not clearing the exam. So, let's get to how you can prepare for the exam. So, before we get to that, I think we should discuss that, what FM is really about. So FM stands for your financial management. So financial management is, like the name suggests, it's all about managing the finances of the company. So managing the finances. Now, you will hear this term a lot when you are preparing for FM, that the main objective of FM is nothing but the maximization of wealth of the shareholders. You will hear this term a lot. You will use this term a lot in your answers. Maximization of shareholder wealth. This means that the people who have, let's suppose you have a company, called ABC company. You have, let's suppose, 100 shareholders in this company. So that means, I'm just taking an example over here to simplify and make you understand, that let's suppose these are the number of shareholders that we have in the company. So the aim of the company is nothing but to maximize the profits. Why? Because these shareholders will then be getting the profits in the some profits in the form of dividends, some profits in the form of capital appreciation. So this is ultimately the goal, that why do we need financial management, or why do we do financial management, right? So then a lot of there are the if you have a look at the components, what the components of the FM syllabus are. So basically FM works at, three decisions in overall. So overall there are three decisions that need to be taken. The first decision is your financing decision. Financing decision means that, where is the money going to come from in the business? Where is the money going to come from? In what proportion is it going to come from? And other factors like, you know, if you talk about where is the money going to come from, so first of all you have to decide, you also have to decide what form of finance you're looking for, right? So are you looking at equity, are you looking at debt? So these are the various decisions that fall under financing decisions. So where the money is going to come from. Let's suppose, are you raising equity? Are you going to take it from a money lender? Are you going to take it from a proper bank? Are you going to take it from some institutional investors? And in what proportion means, like, let's suppose I need $100 million, my company needs $100 million. How much amount of this $100 million should be in equity? How much amount should be in debt? Should the whole 100 be in debt? Should the whole 100 be in equity? So this is what financing decisions are made for. We study the costs, we do a cost benefit analysis, and we find out what is best for the business or what is best for the company. Then there are some investment decisions. Again, when you are running a business, there will be a lot of investment opportunities. So, this will involve appraising of investments, appraising in the form of you. There are multiple methods of appraisal like NPV, like IRR, uh, MIRR. There are a lot of ways through which you can compare with ROI is calculated. So, a lot of investment opportunities available for a business, but the funds are limited. So, where should the business invest its money? That's what forms the part of your investment decisions. And then comes the third decision that financial management has, which is about the dividend decisions. So, the company makes profits, right? I mean, the good companies do. So, the profits, how much of the profit is going to be given to the shareholders, and how much of the profit is going to be retained in the company for investing in further projects for the growth of the company. So, this is where this sort of decision, that what proportion should we distribute any dividend at all or not. So profits are always distributed to the shareholders in the form of dividends. So dividend decision is where we do this analysis and decide whether or not to give the dividend, and if we are giving the dividend, how much should be the dividend. So these are the three major decisions that we do in FM. Now, to carry on all of these decisions, you will be learning a lot of concepts. You will learn about the concept of cost of capital. When we talk about financing decisions, we saw that we can take debt, we can raise equity. So all of these funds come with their own costs. For raising capital, there will be different costs. For raising debt, there will be different sets of costs. So cost of capital is something that we evaluate. Now, the business always uses some mix of debt, some mix of equity to form their total capital structure. If you have a look at the balance sheet of the company will have assets and will also have liabilities and equity. So, equity will show you the shareholders, and liability will show you how the business has raised loans, or debentures, or any sort of bank loans, debt from outside. So these two components form the part of the capital of the company, and the cost of capital aims to calculate how much money should we be earning so that we are at least able to pay our dividend to the equity holders and our interest to the debt holders in the company. So this is what cost of capital aims at. Then you will also study the concept of investment appraisal in FM. So investment appraisal again will be in multiple methods. You will have rankings based on NPV. Then you will also study the conflict between NPV and IRR, which is another method of investment appraisal. And so, and then you are also going to learn sources of finance. So again, like we discussed, there can be debt, there can be equity. There are some all other sources like Islamic finance also, like the those who follow the Islamic religion, they have some prohibitions according to the Sharia law. So Islamic finance is also a part of your FM syllabus. So basically, this is what the FM syllabus as a whole looks like. So if I have to explain to you in a very layman language, like, let's suppose perhaps investment appraisal, you are or maybe about deciding investing decisions, like, there's some machine that you need to buy. So the business has two options: you can either buy M1, you can either buy M2. So there will be costs associated with this, costs associated with this, and then there will be benefits, and there will be benefits over here. So to compare that which machine is better, this is also a part of your investment decisions that you learn to do in FM exam. and this is about what the syllabus will basically talk to you about, what you will learn in FM. Then let's come to the strategies part. What strategies can you make to solve this paper well, to be able to attempt this paper well? So first of all, one thing that you need to truly avoid is selective study. You can totally not go for selective study, because you know uh, the people who do not study the entire syllabus will suffer in some way or the other. So please erase the thought, if you have so, from your mind, that you're only going to study the important topics per se, right? Everything is important. You are studying for a professional exam. Be Act like a professional. You cannot not know anything which is a part of your syllabus. Then the other strategy that I would like to suggest is make use of the ACCA practice platform. So, at least for section C, I would like to say so, because, a lot of Excel functionalities which are otherwise available on the normal Excel are not available on the ACCA's Excel sheet that is provided in the exam and which is there on the practice platform. So, using that, you will get to, know what all formulas you can use in the exam. There are the formulas of NPV, IRR, which definitely can be used in the exam. This will not only save time, but will also make you look smart in front of the examiner, that instead of wasting your time in plotting values, you have simply used the formula for NPV and IRR. So this will only come in the exam when you have actually practiced it before on the ACCA practice platform. Then the third strategy that I would like to suggest is, before suggesting that, I would like to reiterate that a lot of, contrary to what people think, FM, they think FM is a numeric dominated exam. However, theory accounts for roughly 30 to 40% of your paper, which means 30 to 40% marks, 30 or 40 marks are asked in the form of theory in the actual exam. So theory is something that you cannot ignore, right? You cannot ignore these many marks if you want to maximize your chances of passing. So please do not ignore theory. So the third strategy that I have is that you have to do written practice of theory. By written, I do not mean writing on pen and paper. I mean that you have to type your answers in. If you do it on the ACCA practice platform, there's nothing like that. But even if you're not using that, I would really recommend that you type your answers in practice. You can type them on Word if you have some issues accessing the platform, but ideally you should not have them, because it's very easily navigate it's very easy to navigate through and get to the platform. So I would suggest that you do written practice of theory. A lot of us, what we do is that we think that, okay, this is theoretical, I'm just reading the answers when I'm solving the kit, and I will be able to magically draft those answers in my actual exam, when the reality is that you are not practicing any of these questions while you are typing them. And in the exam, when you're giving the actual exam, do you expect you're going to magically come to type all the answers in the perfect sense? No, right? It'll take practice. So that is why I am suggesting that you do written practice of theory. Then the fourth strategy that I have for you is that you have to link your theory to the scenario. So, when you are, posed requirements about the scenario in the question will most likely, ask in the context of the respective company that you are talking about, the respective case study that you have been provided. So, if you like go on to write general points like, rote learned answers, they are not going to fetch you marks. If you have not linked your answer to the scenario for general answers, you're maximum going to get 1 or 2 marks, that too like on, not a very good note. But if you want to score good in the theoretical part, linking to the scenario is very, very important. Then, fifth is the last strategy that I would like to give you, and this is about how you have to attempt the exam. So, while you are attempting the exam, this specially goes for your section B and section C, which happen to be case study questions. So, for case study questions, what you need to do is, first of all, a lot of people will, read the scenario first, then they will go to the requirements, and then till the time they do so, they will forget what the case study was, and then they will go back to the case study and then go back to the requirements, which is a lot of to and fro and a lot of time wastage, right? So, the best thing to do is that you read your requirements first. Do not look at the case study, read your requirements. So, once you are reading your requirements, you may also feel free to highlight, make use of the highlight functionality to highlight any keywords in the requirement. So, the requirement will ideally be a sentence long, but you can highlight the keywords. Maybe if the requirement is calculate the cost of capital of this company using this method and so. So, you can just highlight cost of capital so that when you come back to the requirement, you know that this is what you were required to do. And also look out for requirements like calculate the cost of capital and comment on something, or comment on what the results you have found out. So when you are looking at a requirement which has the word and in it, that means the part that follows and also has marks allotted to that specific portion. So when you're answering, make sure that you are answering all parts of the requirement. If you wrote a very good answer for the first part but you forgot to write about this, you will only get the marks that were allocated to this specific part, and the marks for this part which were there, you will totally lose those marks. So please read your requirements very carefully and highlight anything that you think will be necessary for you to come back to again. Then once you have read your requirements, then the next step is going to the case study, reading the case study. Again, once you are reading the case study, do not go on mindlessly reading the case study. You know your requirements because you read them first. So now that you know your requirements, be a smart reader. Identify which all things will be useful for you in solving the requirements. Everything that you need to solve the requirement will be given in the question. You just have to locate that and catch that in your answer. So, identify while you are reading the case study, identify everything that can help you, and you can also again use the function of highlighting any important thing that you think you might need to come back to. So this is how you should go on to solve the question. And then once you have read the case study, then you actually start to solve the question. This will save a lot of your time because you will not be going to and fro from the case study and to the requirements. So this is all that I have for this video today. Um, I hope that this video will be useful for you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment down below. You can always DM us on our Instagram page at Being ACCA. I hope that this was useful again. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.